that time of year again where Apple releases a new iteration of iPhones, and this time around we're checking out the iPhone 6s Plus, and while it may look similar to last year's 6 Plus, all the changes are inside. It's got a faster processor, better camera, better display, better build quality, all which we'll talk a bit about in this video. Now this video is by no means a full review, but just my opinion after using the iPhone 6s Plus for 48 hours. So let's go ahead and start off with the iPhone's build quality. Now this time around, Apple went ahead and equipped the iPhone 6s with a new 7000 series aluminum, which made the iPhone slightly thicker, about 0.1mm thicker on the 6s Plus. While I'm a big fan of its design and the feel of aluminum, I'd rather use skins on my devices, so I went ahead and got myself this beautiful looking D-brand skins on the back, and if you want to pick one up for yourselves, the link will be in the description below. I personally think it makes my iPhone stand out, and let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Moving on to that 5.5-inch 1080p display, it's essentially the same display as last year's iPhone, and the colors, the viewing angles are exactly the same. But what is new though is under the panel, which Apple is calling 3D Touch. It's essentially the same as Force Touch on the Apple Watch, which will allow you to do certain things depending on how light or deep you press on the display. I've only been using the phone for 2 days, and there aren't really a whole lot of apps that are taking advantage of this technology just yet. But as of right now, Apple's first-party apps like Mell, Camera, and Messages app are taking advantage of this feature. Inside Mell, for example, I can peek and pop into a message, which means I can quickly see the message without actually going into the message. But if I press harder, it'll take me directly to the full email. In home screen, for example, if I press just a tad bit harder than usual on the camera app, for example, it'll blur out the screen and a new pop-up window will show up, giving me an option to either take a selfie, record a video, and so forth. All in all, it's a pretty cool idea, and I can't wait for more developers to take advantage of this new technology. Next up, let's talk about performance. Now, I'm not big into benchmarks and numbers, but this time around, Apple equipped the iPhone 6s with its latest A9 processor, and finally, Apple went ahead and equipped the iPhone 6s with 2GB of RAM, and this thing is absolutely fast. Launching apps, switching from apps to apps, and taking pictures, it's really quick. But I feel like that's with every newly released iPhone, so we'll see how it holds up in the next couple of months. But so far so good though. Battery life on the 6s Plus is pretty good too, despite it being a bit smaller than last year's 6 Plus. With iOS 9 software and new power saving mode, I can get through an entire day with more than 40% battery life by the time I went to bed around 11 PM. And last but not least, moving on to the camera, I'm so happy that Apple finally upgraded its camera system from its usual 8MP iSight camera to a bigger 12MP sensor. The FaceTime camera also got a huge spec bump from a tiny 1.2MP sensor to a nice 5MP sensor. That means crispier photos and also the ability to finally film in 4K using the iSight camera. But remember, the higher the resolution, the bigger files you'll end up with, so make sure to pick up either the 64 or 128GB variant. Now, one new feature with the iPhone 6s though is live photos, which essentially will capture 1 to 1.5 seconds before and after the photo is taken. It's a really cool concept, but then again, this will take up more space than your regular 12MP photo, so just be aware of that. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, which I'll link down below in the description to see more iPhone 6s photo samples. And that's about it. This is definitely Apple's best iPhone to date, but in just 360 something days, we'll see a new iPhone all over again that's even better than this one. So if you already have an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, I'd just hold off till the new iPhone 7 comes out. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to share this video with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, or wherever it may be, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.